A brand new tank is coming onto World of Tanks console, and today's video is going to look at all of the update news along with this vehicle, so you can get a good idea as to what's coming next week on the game. So stay tuned and we'll take a look right now. First things first, the new Super M48, which is the new premium tank. It's coming at Escalation era, and it's a medium tank, and I'm assuming that this maybe is giving you an idea as to what Wargaming are developing at the moment. I know that they released the kind of classified tanks that they released as part of their kind of update news or information as part of the last update, where they kind of gave us a little bit of a hint. Maybe this will be part of what the Escalation era tanks will be on Cold War, but nonetheless you can leave your own speculation as to what tanks you think that they're going to be. Let's have a look at this one in particular. Now then, what have Wargaming actually said about this vehicle and how it plays in game? So what they've suggested is that assist your brawlers in thinning the enemy team, best used as a support tank. I kind of agree with that, as the M48 in World War II is also very much similar to that. Gun has excellent penetration and shell velocity when combined with its sturdy turret armor and notable gun depression. These traits make this a reliable and mobile hold down tank to deploy. So use its powerful gun to finish damage, go hold down and leave it your well protected turret to soak up the shots, and need to relocate quickly. Its 1,000 horsepower engine will get you out of trouble, but of course we'll have a look at the statistics of the vehicle to see how it actually will probably play, because that's just what Wargaming are giving, and sometimes they completely get it wrong. But here you go. This is what the vehicle looks like, so if you're interested, or maybe you're just listening to this, but you can see it on screen if you want to. You can see the vehicle here. It's looking like a pretty neat one. It basically looks like an M4 from the back. It basically looks like an M48 pattern that's had some chunky frontal turret armor slapped on, so basically spaced armor, as well as having it spaced armor chunked on the sides of it as well. So it's kind of like the hybrid between an M1A2 Abrams and of course the M48 pattern. So it's kind of that the development between going from a medium tank to kind of a main battle tank. I guess it's where they're kind of phasing in those sorts of tanks. But nonetheless, what do the characteristics say about this vehicle? So if you're interested in buying this premium tank, because it is a premium tank, you will need to spend quite a bit. I mean, 12,900 gold to be exact for the base version, and 16,500 for the primed version. And for that, you get a 50% bonus silver and also a 10% bonus to your tank XP and 25% bonus to your commander XP. So it's not too bad. I think, the pricing is terrible. I always think this about pretty much any of the Cold War vehicles and any of the World War II vehicles they've been releasing recently. But nonetheless, we've also got the hit points of 2,850. We've had the engine power of 1,000, and that means that you have a power to weight ratio of 18.89, which is not that fantastic. I think some of the T-72s have a better power to weight ratio, and considering your max speed is 56 kilometers an hour, which isn't actually that fast, then I guess this will be more like playing a heavy tank, even though it's supposed to be a medium. I don't really know how it's going to work in that regard. Obviously, this might be fantastic in the game because of the 9 degrees of gun depression, the turret armor that you get with this thing, but I very much doubt it. And considering your hull traverse and turret traverse is 66 degrees a second, so it's going to take you just under 5 seconds to fully rotate your tank 360 degrees, and that's not actually your initial hull track armor. That's if you were just someone was trying to circle you, it'd take you 5 seconds to do a full 360 combined. And it would take you, 8 seconds to do a full 360 with just the hull armor, just twisting, basically. I don't really know how that's going to work, but I guess we'll have to wait and see in the game. Maybe it feels a little bit sluggish, as you'd probably expect from the M48 with a load of slapped-on side armor. So I'm interested to see how it works. But obviously, if you're watching this in the future, let me know what you think of the vehicle. And if you aren't, let me know what you think of the vehicle will be like in the game, and are you willing to spend probably £30 to pick up this vehicle in World of Tanks console? But nonetheless, 19 degrees of gun elevation is okay. And then probably most importantly, the armor and penetration, or the penetration and the damage even. 449 millimeters of penetration on your standard rounds with 460 alpha damage. So it's fairly decent. I think you can compete with some of the other mediums at the tier. Is it going to be a Leopard 2AV? Probably not. But yeah, I think it's going to be fairly decent. You're going to be able to deal quite a bit of damage, and because your reload is actually 8.3 seconds, which with all of the perks and the equipment and everything that you can put on this vehicle, you can probably drag that down to about, I'd say, 6.5 seconds, somewhere in that region, if not lower, which would be nice. And that means that you can basically pump out 460 alpha damage and bring that damage per minute up from about 3,300, maybe somewhere in the region of 3,800, I would expect. Just rough figures. So that would be quite nice. I feel like it's probably not going to be one of those OP premium tanks. We've already seen one of them in the NM116 that was released on World War II. And yeah, just not entirely sure what they're going to do with this whole thing, but we'll have to wait and see. You've also then got the ABFSDS, which is your premium rounds, which had 505 millimeters of penetration. And it has better shell velocity as well, so it's going to be just generally a better round. And then you get some HESH rounds with 250 pen and 570 alpha, which you could probably make use of actually with the M48 pattern or the Super M48, which will be interesting because with the extra, well, the fairly okay penetration for the back of a lot of these tanks that you're going to be coming up against, it'll probably be absolutely fine. So looking forward to seeing how that works. Aim time of 2 seconds is not too bad either. Accuracy 0.37, which is pretty bad, to be honest with you. But with a medium tank, you're going to be able to grab that down with all of the perks that you'd associate with a medium tank. Vertical stabilizers as an equipment. You'd probably have steady aim as a perk. And so, yeah, you can probably bring that down to an okay amount. And considering you've got 460 alpha, I'm pretty sure you'll be absolutely fine. Ammo count 54 rounds. You're probably not going to be limited by that. 515 meters view range, which is okay. And then 610 meters signal range. So yeah, in general, statistics wise, I think as with the standard M48, it's going to be an all-rounder. I feel like this is probably going to be less good as something like the M48 on World War II, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see in the game, which... I will do a full review of this tank when it does get released next week, so we'll look forward to testing out, seeing whether my opinion right now is the right one, and of course, if you have any differences in opinion as to how you think that this is going to play, let me know in the comment section down below. But without further ado, let's jump into some other update news that comes in with this tank, because this is not it in terms of the update. So obviously last week we had the update to the TVP line and the introduction of the Czech Era 1 tanks, which include the TVP T5051 as the top tier boy, and then the TVP 50 or the Skoda T50, which was the tier, kind of second tier in the Cold War Era 1, and then you have tier 1, which is like the starting tier as the TVP VTU, which is not particularly great, but it looks like a lot of people have been playing the TVP VTU. And it says that it's number 1 out of 20 tanks in terms of its win rate with 59%. I don't know if that's just because a lot of players are just jumping in this and playing it. Maybe it's actually a good tank, and maybe I completely got the tank wrong, but we'll have to wait and see. Anyway, regardless of that, what else have we got? That was the World War II version, by the way. And then the Cold War version is 6 out of 20, which is win rate of 51%. But that's probably because the top players are probably jumping in and playing it. Now, nonetheless, Hunter/Destroyer challenges to support new tech tree releases. So you can all complete those by the time that this video is live. It's available for 2 weeks, so you can do that. Of course, the Tank Tree Forge was for the TVP 5051 line, and that's still going on right now. I highly recommend you actually do that. A few buffs, you can cover all of this information in last week's update news. But more importantly, a new premium bonus is coming into World of Tanks, and that is the extra 50% silver and XP on all vehicles above tier 5 on the tech tree lines that are within the premium bonus scope. So The tanks that we're actually interested in are the Panzer KPFW 7, which is the King Löwe line, which is the German tier 10 heavy tank, and it kind of comes off of the VKB and then back to the VKA and then back to the Tiger P, I believe. And so that line will all be getting 50% extra silver and XP on tier 5 and up. So that's really, really good. As well as that, we're getting the Badger, so that's the tier 10 British tank destroyer as well. This tank was actually amazing. So that includes the Tortoise. So if you're really wanting to grind through and get the FV215B183, now is an amazing time, because essentially when they release it as 50% extra silver and XP, that will also include the Tortoise, which you can get the FV215B183 from that vehicle as well. So effectively, if they have two tanks that lead off from the tier 9, but one of them goes to the tank that's in the premium bonus, you'll be able to essentially get 50% XP towards both of them. It doesn't stop when you unlock the Badger. It doesn't stop if you were to, I don't know, unlock the IS-7 and you want to get another tank. You can basically, as long as they come from a tank that is within the scope of the premium bonus, then you can use it to your own advantage. So I highly recommend you start grinding the Badger line, because effectively you could get 2 tier 10s for 50% silver and XP. Also, you've got then the T125, which is an amazing American heavy tank. I think it's severely underrated in the game. I really, really enjoy it. It was one of my first tier 10s. I believe maybe like the 3rd or 4th tier 10 that I actually picked up in the game. And it was an amazing grind, especially with the updates to the M103 that have come out recently, making it a very, very solid tank. And actually the turret armor got buffed, so it's no longer as just an automatic pen through the roof of the turret, which everyone knows about. So yeah, it still can get pen through the top of the turret, don't worry, but yeah, it's a hell of a lot better. But the T125, definitely this 2 weeks premium bonus that we're going to be having is actually a pretty decent one, and I will be grinding my way towards the only tank on that list that I don't have, which is the Panzer KPFW 7, which does have a few weak points, and I don't think it's particularly that great in World of Tanks console, but nonetheless it will be interesting to play. Now, not only have we got the premium bonus, but we've also got the premium contract where you can pick up the Tiger 1 hammer for free, I believe. So you will be able to obtain the Tiger 1 hammer, which is really, really nice. It's a tank that was released as part of a kind of earn operation a long time ago, back in like 2017 or 2016 or somewhere like that, and then it slowly got like re-released in earn operations throughout various times within the history of World of Tanks console. I myself picked it up when it was first released. It's an amazing tier 7, genuinely one of the better tier 7s, especially as a heavy tank. There's been a few gameplays on the channel already of the Tiger 1 hammer, so you can have a look at those, but maybe we'll do a specific video so you guys can understand whether or not you want to pick up this tank, or whether you want to revisit the tank. If you already own the Tiger 1 hammer, you will get the silver equivalent of getting the tank. So I think for a tier 7 premium tank, it's probably about 2.5 million silver if you manage to complete the contract, whilst also obtaining the tank beforehand. So that will be really nice. Of course, then they're re-releasing the tanks for free XP event, where you can pick up the T-3488, the Scourge, the various different tanks. I'm not going to go through them all. If you want to have a look, just pause the video now and you can see them highlighted on screen right now. So loads of different ones, kind of ones that I would highlight to you guys and not having to spend a ton of free XP would be the T-3488, the T-54E2, the what else we've got, Vanguard DLC even 90, the Aufklärungs Panther, the E25, the T50-2, and those are pretty much the tanks I would recommend for spending your free XP to actually be able to obtain, if you were to spend them XP and you've saved up enough. Not only that, we've got the With Honours, which gives you an extra 25% extra silver on battles where you place in the top 5 XP earners on your team. So if you're a very, very good player, then you'll be able to earn an extra 25% silver on top of your standard game, which also runs in tandem with if you've completed the season pass and you've managed to get to like rank 115 or 120, where you get an extra 25% silver as well. Then you combine that with a premium premium account, which also gives you an extra 50%. And then if you have times 2 silver boosters, you can be racking in so much silver at the moment, especially if you were to use a premium bonus tank that we've talked about just a minute ago in the T110E5, the Panzer 7 or the Badger. If you play any of those, you'll basically be getting an extra 50% silver as well. So you could be up to like 350% silver when using all of these in combination with one another. So I'm not entirely sure if this with Honours event will be just a singular battle or whether it will be a repeatable challenge that you can continuously do for just the length of time that this is available. We'll have to wait and see. And then there's an available 3 times per day. So yeah, 3 times per day you can use it. So I've just answered my own question. I wasn't sure if that was 3 times XP, but nonetheless, yeah, you can use it 3 times per day. I'd highly recommend using it on the stacked bonus, like I've just talked about, on playing like the T125 and then playing and just doing all of the extra challenges that will give you extra assistance. But not only that, we've got tier 8, 9 and 10 XP event where you can enjoy double XP on all of your battles by completing one of the following, and that is only deal at least 500 damage. Super easy if you're playing high tier vehicles, really easy. Deal at least 500 spotting assist, super easy as well if you're playing a light tank, or detect 2 or more enemy vehicles in a surviving battle, which is actually kind of a bit of a pain in the arse, but you will probably be able to complete at least one of these, and all you have to do is complete one of them and you'll be able to get double XP, especially considering you're playing tier 8, 9 and 10. I would hope that you're doing 500 damage, either actual damage or assistance, but yeah, basically double XP for the entire week, which will be amazing, and I cannot wait to jump in my vehicles and grind through the XP, to slap on not only the double XP from this, but also the times 5 XP boosters that I've got kicking around in my garage, and then I'll be able to get times 7 XP on all of the vehicles that I have, which will be amazing. I'm looking forward to it, and of course, let me know as well. Then we have a few extras in this video talking about what Wargaming are hoping to do. There's obviously the battle feats and shoutouts. You can have a look on screen right now if you're interested as to what those are. Just pause the video, have a look, and let me know in the comment section down below. Obviously, then we've got the questions. So these are always interesting. Some of them are actually good questions. Some of them are usually bad, but yeah, we'll get a good idea in this one. So, can we get a Yugoslavian tech tree in either Cold War or World War II? The research has been done and tanks looked into, but I'm not sure we have any models built yet, so nothing currently in the schedule. Are you planning more pin-up style camos? Yes, we do have a few more lined up and hope to bring in even more, so they'll be doing that. When are German lights and TDs coming in Cold War? Possibly early next year, as there's still work to be done there. Kind of okay. Any chance we'll see Swedish tanks in Cold War? Chances are good, as you might see one later this year, and I would expect that this will just be the Kranvagn and the Udares basically being re-released into Cold War as the early, like the first era. I don't know if they'll do a full tech tree kind of line all the way up to Era 3, but we'll have to wait and see. Why can't all Cold War premiums be on sale all the time? I don't really have an answer, so apologies, and maybe we can talk more about this at a later date. Yeah, I get the idea. Wargaming want to make them more exclusive, so people feel like they really have to rush and buy them, as opposed to releasing them all at the time, and then people go, oh, well, I can always buy it later. It's probably like a sales mentality, or like human, like brain kind of not research, but basically how humans work. And so, yeah, I expect it's that you're more likely to buy a premium tank from Wargaming's end if you make it exclusive and people feel like they have a fear of missing out, basically FOMO or whatever they call it. But yeah, I expect that's probably what they're trying to do there. So it's just basically to ensure more sales. When will ×2 silver bundles be back in the store? It's not currently in our plans, but there will be opportunities to earn some more. So you'll be able to see some of that. Will the Turan be for free XP? It's possible, but nothing currently in the plans. So, I mean, they probably should release it for free considering how OP it is and that it's basically pay to win at the moment, but there we go. When will we get more camo options? Our team have been working hard to bring more to the game, so more are coming but no specific dates. Will there be more than one new Halloween commander next month? Yes, there will be 2, so that's interesting. When you implement artillery, will you do all artillery or just the USA line at first? Initially, we planned to change the USA line to get feedback, but we realised we couldn't get the right data, so we planned to rebalance all artillery and keep an eye on the changes. So effectively, this is Wargaming's answer to say that they've already rebalanced the artillery in World of Tanks console by adding in some audio and visual mechanics into the game, or at least so you can see the tank rounds coming in or artillery rounds coming in easier and be able to hear the artillery rounds coming in easier with the 1.5 second delay, which means you can definitely 100% get out of the way of a shell that's coming in at 1.5 second time delay. So yeah, I fully agree that your mouse will be able to move out of the way of an artillery shell in 1.5 seconds after hearing it come in. And of course, then trying to react with human reaction time being about probably like 1.5 seconds itself, you're not going to be able to get out of the way. So it's just complete absolute fallacy that is even a rebalance feature in World of Tanks. But there you go. That's Wargaming for you. They basically are not going to nerf artillery anytime soon. They've already said that will already be in the game. So there we go. Any new Awakened tanks this year? Yes, but no hints. So we'll be seeing some new Awakened tanks in the game, which is kind of interesting. Of course, that comes with the new Halloween game mode, or old Halloween game mode, the one that will be coming out for Halloween essentially, which is just like a ghost game mode. Certain tanks like the Bellerophon, you've got the Lycan, you have the Crafts, the Revenant Panther. All of these get like special abilities in this game mode. It's not on the actual normal game. Don't worry, you're not going to be getting spiked by some random tank and sent flying off of the map. But yeah, you can basically get those. We'll be doing some videos on that as we go through. Ribbons are coming back anytime soon. Maybe. Hopefully we'll see them soon this year, and yeah, I hope that will come back into the game. French Cold War tanks, we're aiming for sometime next year, but things can always change, so maybe we'll see them sooner, maybe we won't. Can we have clan management inside the game? It's a UI intensive feature, so we'll have to figure this out. We know you want it and it's on our minds, but we need to prioritize what's best to come first, like new premium tanks. I mean, no. I mean, yeah, maps and stuff like that. Yeah, definitely. When can we apply boosts after a battle? No plans to do this for now, but we could revisit this in the future. Thermal or night sight equipment for Era 3 tanks. Early on we had ideas for this and how we can support it, and it's still on our minds for new gameplay opportunities, but no plans for now. What is the next tech tree country? It's Romania for Cold War, so that'll be interesting. Why can't the champion tanks return? They were rewards tied to special events, so nothing that I can say on bringing those back. So yes, I believe that was the champion Panther. So I don't think that we'll ever see them re-released because they are kind of exclusive. They were said that they were going to be exclusive, and you had to be there during that time to actually pick them up. So knowing Wargaming, we'll see them next week. Anyway, moving on. Any ETA on the Tier 10 tank skins? They're planned for later this year, so I'm looking forward to those. If they actually come this year, hopefully they will. Mercenaries for Cold War. We're looking to bring in some new mercs, but that's all I can really say. So, interesting. Obviously, a thank you to Wheezy, as always, for actually doing this. But yeah, a really, really handy kind of thing to see Wargaming's opinions on certain things and see what the differences are. But yeah, let me know what you think about all of the questions and queries. I always like doing this section to give my own opinions on some of the stuff that Wargaming is saying and kind of explain some of the stuff as well. Hopefully that gives you a good overview as to World of Tanks console next week. And of course, if you want to check out some gameplay and tank reviews, there will be the playlist on the right-hand side. And of course, once again, thank you for 12,000 subscribers and everyone that's just watched the videos. Whether you're subscribed or not, it's amazing. I really do appreciate the support, and hopefully we'll be able to reach higher and higher numbers as we go forward, and I will absolutely be very, very glad of it. So yeah, Thank you very much. I don't know what else to say other than thank you. Yeah, there'll be a giveaway coming somewhat soon, so stay tuned for that, and you'll see that on the community tab of the channel. Thank you, and I'll see you there. Goodbye.